This is a list our I-Team found of all the security companies, security guards, and private detectives caught operating illegally in Georgia. The state tells us this is a problem they see all the time. Everyone on this list has been issued a cease and desist order, but our I-Team found a security company that works for nearly all of the big venues in our area still working despite this document they signed, promising they would not, and they could be putting you at risk. Security guards at the entrance to shows and events are so common now, you probably hardly think twice when they scan you with a metal detector or ask you to search your bag. In fact, the more security shirts Joni Coward sees, the safer she feels when she brings her grandkids to events at the James Brown Arena.
I think it's more important than ever with everything that's going on.
So when we told her the security guards working the monster truck show they just bought tickets for do not have a license to do business as a security company, were not background checking their employees, and could not provide proof of proper training, she had a few questions.
I find that very disappointing, and then you got to wonder exactly what is behind the scenes and what's going on and exactly why that isn't happening. Why would they not have people that have background checks and all?
The company is called the Security Guys. They've worked events all over the CSRA for big venues. Lady A, the Miller, the JBA, USC Aiken, the Western Carolina State Fair. They also work security at Kids Prompt Care in Augusta. Back in October, SLED shut them down at the Western Carolina State Fair. The report says agents saw a guard holding a walkie-talkie, wearing a red T-shirt with Security Guys displayed on the front and security on the back. They asked them to leave, contacted fair officials, and told them the Security Guys could not be contracted as a security company because they're not licensed to work security in the state of South Carolina.
How about Wednesday, 10 o'clock?
Gene Stalkup is a former Richmond County investigator. He served on the state board that licenses private security companies for years. He says a security company license is a lot more than a fee and a piece of paper.
Public safety is the number one issue. Knowing that the person that is acting as a security guard does not have a criminal history, that's, exercised the control over other people that security guards may exercise.
And here's why you should care that security companies are licensed. The state checks to make sure those companies are doing those background checks, have a surety bond or insurance, and proper training. Just look at this list of training requirements. Everything from crowd control and evacuation to first aid, bomb threats, and terrorism.
I'm counting on the fact that you are secure and everybody's taken care of, and if that's not true, and they're just regular people or something like that, then you take the, children's lives in their hands and everything else.
So why are these companies not getting licensed? We tracked down the man who claims to be the owner of the Security Guys to find out.
Hello.
Hi, is this Brian Brady?
Yes, it is.
Hey, Brian, this is Laura Warren with News 12. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you doing?
He didn't want to talk to us on camera, but agreed to answer our questions on the phone.
We do not have to be certified to do what we do. There's a loophole in doing security and doing event staffing.
But a name says a lot, and their name is the Security Guys.
We named it that a long time ago, not knowing the laws and all that.
We found that you guys have a cease and desist order on file with the state of Georgia.
That's right, to do any type of security.
They signed this order in December. So why did we see the Security Guys at Futurity, the Miller Theater, Kids Prompt Care, and the Monster Truck Show this past month?
We're doing event staffing. We're not out doing patrol services. We're not doing security at gates and businesses and stuff like that. Only thing we do is concerts and outdoor events, which is a concert or, things like that. We're not actually doing security itself.
But the Kids Prompt Care is not an event. And both states appear to disagree with his definition of event staffing. South Carolina law identifies a security business as personnel with authority to allow or refuse access to property. Georgia's definition also includes guard service.
Well, yeah, the Miller, it doesn't. It says staff at the Miller.
Or does it? This was taken just last Friday. You're working at the JBA and the Lady A with security shirts on, so the average public assumes, okay, these people are following all the protocols, they have all the proper training.
Right. So it sounds like you know exactly what's going on, so do whatever you need to do. I done said what I needed to say.
After our I-team started investigating, the security guys did apply for a security company license with Georgia, but they have not been approved yet. We did find a Columbia County business license on file for the security guys from 2015 and 2018, which is a little perplexing. There's a Georgia law that says counties are not allowed to issue these business licenses to security companies that do not have that professional license with the state.
So just to back up, they've been doing this for a few years now.
Right.
How have they been able to work so many of these big venues?
It's a big question. The venues, the county, the state, they all have to work together. They have to do their due diligence. They have to vet these companies to keep you safe. And we found a lot is slipping through the cracks. Our I-team is going to continue to investigate why that is not happening. We've also reached out to Columbia County's licensing department for an interview, so we'll let you know what they say about these business licenses.
An eye-opening investigation. Laura, thank you.
You gonna keep the tickets with you, or you want me taking with me?
When Ricky Davis and his fiancee see security written on a shirt, they assume it means security.
Whether it's here or anywhere, you want to be, I guess, safe, that they're qualified to do their job.
So when our I-team found unlicensed security guards working at the Lady A, the Miller, the JBA, USC Aiken, the Western Carolina State Fair, and Kids Prompt Care.
As I work, I pay my taxes, and I would just assume somebody in the right position should be looking over this, should be making sure that this right here is proper.
We found a Georgia law that says counties are not allowed to give business licenses to security companies unless they have the proper state license. Gene Stallcup served on the board that issued those licenses for years. He says that license means security companies are training and background checking their guards.
In the Georgia Code, it says that no municipality, county government, political subdivision will issue a business license to a security guard company unless they are licensed by the board.
So why did Columbia County issue the security guys, a company not registered with the state, this license back in 2015 to operate as a security guard and patrol service business? Or this one in 2018? We tried multiple times to speak with their licensing department on camera. They said no. They told us by email there is not a code in their system to license a company as event staff, so they went with security guard and patrol services instead. The security guys control access points. They wear security shirts. By the state's definition, they are not event staff. And even if they were, the county's not allowed to write security guard and patrol services on their business license unless the company has a state license for that. But here's why we care about all of this county licensing mumbo jumbo, and you should too. If I want to hire your company to do security, and you tell me this on the phone.
We got a business license, we carry insurance, we do everything that we're supposed to be doing.
And you produce this official county document declaring you are a licensed security company, your state licensing is implied. You trust the county to ask those questions. The state trusts the county to ask those questions. It's another layer of security in a law about security. Brian Brady claims no one ever asked him about state licensing until now.
Nobody's even said anything about that to us. No venue, nobody that we've ever done work for said that, you got to be state certified.
Now he's working with the state to try to get the right license. But he's been operating unlicensed for over 4 years. That's 4 years of events, shows, and private security at dozens of venues around town.
Well, look at the exposure that the company has and the individual hiring the guard and the possibility of something tragic happening.
It's a gamble with your safety and security. The board that licenses security companies tells me one problem they have is enforcing the laws that are already in place. As a board, they aren't able to arrest or shut down these companies themselves that are operating illegally. They can only issue those cease and desist orders. The rest is up to county jurisdictions to enforce. They say other states make it a felony to operate a security company illegally. Another issue we're digging into are the venues and the companies hiring security, what they're doing to make sure the guards they hire are qualified to keep you safe. After we found the security company, the security guys working at both of those venues were not licensed by the state, did not have proof of proper training or background checks for their employees. We asked the owner how they got jobs without a state license.
Well, nobody's even said anything about that to us. No venue, nobody that we've ever done work for said that, You got to be state certified.
When SLED found the security guys working events in South Carolina without a license, they interviewed the manager of campus events at USC Aiken. He said he did not know they were working illegally in South Carolina and admitted he did not properly research the company. Columbia County hired the security guys at least 11 times. We found they were invoiced as security. In an email, Columbia County told us the security guys haven't worked there since March of 2018. When they were hired, they acted as gatekeepers. For outside promoters, the county says it's the responsibility of the promoter to hire a sufficient number of deputies. And that's really why all of this matters. That's why you hire licensed security, to do everything you can to prevent or at least react with the right training if something tragic does happen. Alan Davis trains his guards for active shooting scenarios, not just because it's mandated by Georgia and South Carolina, but because it's happening more often.
The violence, the active shooter, the workplace violence is one. Even when I started my career, I never thought we would see school shootings with little children, churches, venues. So that trend has changed.
It's changed big time. This chart is from the FBI showing the number of active shooter incidents per year in the U.S. since 2000. And this one is even more staggering. This is the number of casualties by year from those events. That number has climbed 10,400% in 17 years, which is why Davis says trained, licensed security is more important now than ever.
You find nowadays anybody could go online, whether it's Amazon, eBay, or other those type organizations, and buy a hat that says security. You can buy a hat that says probably police, and it has nothing to do with them being a security officer.
Venues have a role in making sure the gatekeepers, the bag checkers, the security there to back up deputies if an evacuation needs to happen are not just regular guys wearing security hats or T-shirts.
And another red flag with unlicensed security, no contract. The venues we spoke with did not have a contract with the security guys. It was more of a verbal arrangement. So if you're dealing with a licensed, legitimate company, most of the time they will insist on a contract to outline their responsibilities.
And as you mentioned, there is progress to report. The JBA and the Bell, they now have things in place after our investigation. They're making changes.
Right. They have hired a licensed security company by the state. They've also put a contract in place now that they did not have before. The company at the center of our investigation, the security guys, has been ordered by the state of Georgia to pay a $5,000 fine for operating unlicensed. If they pay that fine, they'll be able to get a state license, but they'll be on probation for 2 years. But interesting, this document the state licensing board released says the company told them they stopped working security December 6th. We found them working at Futurity, the Miller Theater, Kids Prompt Care, and the Monster Truck Show after December 6th.